Hey y'all, today we are making a Creole shrimp stew. I know you know this looks good. Baby, go ahead and subscribe and turn on the bell so that you'll be notified whenever I post a recipe because you do not want to miss out. Now honey, this is very similar to shrimp Creole, but I'm not going to call it that because I threw in some potatoes and I felt like that took it more in the stew direction, and I am not going to thumb war with anybody Louisiana grandmama, okay? Now, if you see these ingredients, they're very simple. We have the Trinity, some andouille sausage, some spices. I'm using some potatoes, a pound of shrimp. Half of a pound of the shrimp have the shell on because I wanted to take those shells and make a delicious shrimp stock. To make that, all I'm going to do is put those shells in a pot, and then I'm going to boil them with about 1.5 cups of water for about 20 minutes to just extract that flavor. The shrimp shells are actually the most flavorful part of the shrimp, so you definitely want to utilize them in this dish. While the shells are simmering, I'm going to season this shrimp with a little bit of low sodium Cajun seasoning, as well as a classic Creole seasoning and a little bit of Old Bay. I always love to throw in some Old Bay whenever I am doing seafood. You want to season this well, but not too much because shrimp have their own flavor and you don't want it to overpower the taste of your shrimp, especially if you have some nice, good quality large shrimp like I have here. In total, I'm going to be using half of a stick of butter in this recipe. Yep, that much butter, okay? So first I'm going to start off by adding 2 tablespoons. I'm going to heat that, and then I'm going to saute my shrimp until they're about 3/4 of the way done. You don't need them to cook all the way because once we saute them, we're going to add them back to the recipe later. But I do like to saute them first instead of just adding them at the end because I want to slightly toast the spices that are on the shrimp. I'm going to add some more butter, and then I'm going in with some pre-made dry roux. If you watched my gumbo video, you will see how I made this. All I did was basically toast about 3 cups of flour in the oven at 400 degrees, and I mixed it about every 15 to 20 minutes until it was the color that you see. I store this in a bag and I can just use it whenever I want. I am not the one to be standing up for 1 hour stirring some flour. That's not me, okay? You can also buy dry roux in the store. Using the dry roux tastes the same in a dish as making it on the stovetop, except you save a bunch of time and you can pre-make a lot of it. I'm putting in my sausage as well as my Trinity, and I'm going to saute that in the roux and the butter for about 5 minutes at a medium heat. You want to extract that moisture out of those vegetables to enhance the flavor. And then I'm going to put on 1 shrimp bouillon cube. If you don't have a shrimp one, you can use chicken, but don't use beef. Then I'm just going to add some more seasoning to this, little low sodium Creole seasoning, thyme, some cayenne pepper, some garlic powder, and I'm going to cook this for about 3 more minutes. The last thing you add is the garlic, because garlic can burn, baby, and you don't want that burnt garlic flavor in your dish. Okay, folks, going to talk about you real bad. And then add in 2 cans of stewed tomatoes. Now, the stewed tomatoes are not optional. They must be stewed. They have a sweetness to them that is going to enhance this dish that regular canned tomatoes can't give. I'm then going to put in about 1.5 cups of the shrimp stock. I'm going to allow this to simmer uncovered on a medium heat for about 20 minutes until the stew gets to the thickness that I like. Then I'm going to cover it and simmer it for about 15 more minutes to make sure the potatoes are cooked all the way through and that the flavors have married together well. Honey, this shrimp stew is so good that if someone tell you they don't like it, baby, they either have a shellfish allergy or they're lying and the truth is not in them. Okay, the flavors that are in this are just next level. A little spiciness, you got the seafood taste, the sweetness from the stewed tomatoes. All the flavors are just on 100, y'all. The last thing you add is the shrimp, and you just want to warm it in the stew for about 1 to 2 minutes. Before you serve this to your family, make sure you put a plate to the side in the back of the fridge so you know you're going to have leftovers, honey. You guys know I love you and Jesus loves you, and I'll see you next time at Camirra's Kitchen. Goodbye.